Welcome, everyone, to From the Tips. It's your boy, Brian, joined by Rick. What's up, buddy?
What's up? How's it going? Nice hat.
Hey, nice hat, buddy. So
Thanks.
obviously we're a
Thanks, you too.
podcast. So obviously we're a podcast and not a TV show, so you guys can't see us.
We could do video this week if you want.
We could.
Maybe
That's an
some
option.
snippets.
We could do a snippet. So if a snippet comes out, you'll see it. But we're both wearing little leprechaun hats that Rick's girlfriend Gina got us in the lieu of St. Patty's Day being this week. So happy St. Patrick's Day episode. It's
Happy Leif Erikson Day.
Happy Leif Erikson Day. It's one of my favorite holidays because it gives you an excuse to drink usually during the week when really I don't need one.
You need that.
Really, I don't need one. However, it's always good to just have one, to be like, hey, I'm drinking on a Wednesday because it's a holiday, instead of being like, hey, I'm drinking on a Wednesday because, well, it's a Wednesday. Which is what I usually end up doing. So
yeah, especially this week. Especially this week. And this week we're celebrating. Do you know why we're celebrating, Brian?
Because we're both.
Would you like to tell the folks? Would you like to tell the folks why we're celebrating this week?
Can you? Oh yes. Oh, we forgot balloons. It's episode 10. I'm sorry. Was I? Oh, do not have. Yeah, yes. I love that. All right. Well, now we have to at least post a video up till this. Do you have a second one?
Episode 10. Yay.
There you go. Get it.
That's
so
a pain to clean up.
Yes, it is.
Think about that.
For those of you that are listening to the podcast before this video gets released, because now it has to, Rick has little party poppers for episode 10.
Episode 10, we made it.
And he didn't even tell me. So that's exciting. I like that. That was really cool. Yes. Thank you to all of our listeners who have obviously gotten us to episode 10. We would not be a podcast if you guys didn't listen to it.
We probably go clean for the next 2 hours.
We probably would have abandoned this relatively early if no one cared. But a lot of people care, and we love that, and we love you guys. So thank you for listening. We are here at episode 10. And do you have our national days of the week, or are we just chalking it up to being St. Patty's Day and calling it?
No, we actually have a few things to talk about as far as national days this week. One of them is not a national day. It's just a day that I personally am excited for.
Right on.
So starting it off, March 16th, when y'all are listening to this podcast. Yes, I just said y'all. I don't know. Dude, your hair is so flat right now with that
hat. I feel like there's a lot of people that are like kind of sad that they aren't like witnessing this.
We have to just release this whole thing. This has to just be a whole video podcast.
We might just gotta release the entire
We're starting
video.
Our YouTube channel.
Yeah, the YouTube
the whole thing's going up.
We thought we were gonna listen to the listeners and see if they wanted a YouTube, but really we're just gonna do it now.
We're just going to do it now because you have to see what's going on right now. It's crazy.
At least for the first portion of the episode.
Episode 10 getting wild. Please don't turn your head for the rest of the podcast because I won't be able to focus. Anyway, March 16th, when y'all are listening to this, it is National Panda Day.
I love that.
Panda. Pretty cool. As Brian said, March 17th, Wednesday, that is St. Patrick's Day for all our drinkers out there and all of our Irish folk out there. National March. I don't know what just happened there.
National March Day?
March 18th. We have a day I think was made about me. It is National Awkward Moments Day.
Oh man, that's like a holiday
I think that
for
should
you.
Just be renamed National Rick's Day.
Yes, agreed.
Because I have those frequently.
Yeah.
March 19th, we have National Chocolate Caramel Day, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And March 20th, I have to bring this up because I'm very excited for it. Not only does spring begin, however, it is also my girlfriend Gina's birthday. So happy birthday, babe.
Woo!
I used all my poppers already. Otherwise, I would do it.
I was going to say, do we have a third popper you saved? Or yeah, just pick it up off the ground. There you go.
Hey. So yeah, pretty exciting week coming up. Talking about some pandas, talking about some awkward moments, which I feel like is pretty much the story of the whole first however long we've been recording this so far.
At least the first 5 minutes, at least.
So I apologize for that. Let's get into some golf, what everybody's here for.
Shall we? Let's do it. Alrighty, so This last weekend, this like small little tournament happened called the Players. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, well, it's a golf tournament, Rick. Let me tell you all about it. So the winner of the Players, Justin Thomas, coming out of basically nowhere on Saturday and decided to just dominate the entire tournament, which is what he did in resounding fashion.
You love to see.
First of all, I'm going to bring this up now so that Rick can preserve his sanity for the rest of the episode. Justin Thomas playing well at the Players means he's back to being a dominant Justin Thomas, which means he will do so at the Ryder Cup. We're doing it. It's happening. The
Ryder
U.S.
Cup has been brought up. Can we have a time? A time?
do a timer?
How long until Brian brought up the Ryder Cup?
When you told me about JT, because we were hanging out at the time, you said JT had won. That was my immediate thought, and I was like, "No, Brian, save it for the podcast. You don't want him to have this yet. Okay,
you don't need to talk about it yet.
Look, all I'm saying is that the United States not only is flaunting the absolute gorilla of a human in the name of Bryson DeChambeau, but now we have a dominant Justin Thomas. Okay, we have Xander Schauffele, who should probably make it in lieu of Ricky sucking. I mean, this is all of this is good news for the United States. And sorry, Europe, I don't care if you're hosting this Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
You're losing.
There's no chance. There's literally no chance that that America doesn't win this Ryder Cup.
Nope.
We have my man Brooks. Okay, we got Bryson on the train. Jordan Spieth will be there. Okay, even if he doesn't play great up to it, just the fact that he's playing how he is right now. I mean, he's still playing pretty good.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not playing bad. He will be there. Hopefully Patrick Reed will not be there.
I have a feeling he probably will be, considering
DJ will be there. JT will be there. Like, we have a squad this
year. You got no shot. Europe, I don't care. I don't care if you have Victor Hovland. You have no shot.
And especially if you have Lee Westwood on your team, then it's just an automatic second, because that's apparently all he does now is get second place.
Lee Westwood does come in second by yet again 1 stroke deficit, as he did to Bryson DeChambeau at the Bay Hill Invitational. So let's get into the whole Justin Thomas story here, because it's actually quite emotional if you really look at it. He did have a post-round interview where we weren't ready for it.
I can't watch it. I watched it once, and I wanted to watch it again because I love hearing him talk, and he's just really genuine in everything he says, and I just physically can't do it. If you haven't seen it, head over to the PGA Instagram right now and just watch his post-round interview. It will make you cry if you have feelings.
I mean, I'm not crying, you're crying. So
for those that don't know, haven't been paying attention, JT recently lost his grandfather. It was a few weeks ago. I forget what tournament they were at, but he actually lost him going into the Sunday round.
I believe it was the Genesis, was it not?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I think it might have been.
But he lost his grandfather going into the Sunday round, still played, didn't end up winning that tournament. This is the first tournament that he's won since his grandfather passed away. And he gave him some credit on 18. His last drive of the day on Sunday, his last tee shot almost went left into the water, and he accredited it not going into the water of his grandfather pushing it off to the right. Which, I mean, let's be honest, we don't know what happened. Probably just got a lucky bounce. If he wants to think that, then go for it. I'm not going to tell him.
I'm on board with it.
If he wants to think that, I'm not going to tell him he can't think that. I just think that the way he was playing Saturday and Sunday, there was no way that wasn't going to stay in. He was just getting every single break that he could possibly get on Saturday and Sunday. I think he came into Saturday -2. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then came out with a 64 on Saturday, which is ridiculous. And he deserved it. He deserved every little bit of what he got. We'll get into what could have happened with Bryson and Lee in a second, but we'll stick with JT for now. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. Everything that's been going on in his life, whether it just be family or other off-course drama that we're not going to get into again because there's no reason to. He deserved this win. What is the stat again with him and Tiger?
Oh, he is the only two people that have 20 or at least 10 wins on tour, and one of them is the players at however old JT is now are only Tiger and JT. I forget exactly how old Justin Thomas is. But yeah, you're right. Things have been relatively tumultuous in JT's life, especially leading up to this tournament. Things just definitely haven't been. You could not consider his life going great at the moment, at least personally. So at least being able to professionally do something like this to win, bring yourself some happiness in the fact that you still got it, and to probably turn almost like turn a corner on how the last couple months have been going for you and move in a better direction as far as like personal and professional happiness is concerned is awesome for JT, and I'm here for every second of it because I just think he's an incredible golfer, a great guy, and someone that I feel like everybody can root for
Oh yeah,
because he is genuine. Yeah.
he's definitely like the American version of Rory. I don't know too many people that don't like him,
Mhm.
no matter what has gone on. I can't even say that I think that he has gained any more confidence in himself. I don't think he ever lost any confidence in himself. I just think that we haven't heard about him because of what's been going on with Bryson and other players around the PGA Tour. I think this is definitely going to be great for his confidence if he did lose any, but I really don't think that he did. I think that in his head and in his mind, he knew that he could do this all along, and it was just a matter of time before he managed to put together his first one of the season.
Well, I agree with you, and also I think right now it is kind of hard to have like any sort of media attention with Bryson, which is being Bryson, Tiger getting into that horrific accident,
Yeah,
Spieth playing the way he is.
yeah,
That's absolutely newsworthy, and then also the fact that that Brooks won. That was
yeah,
huge news, and
and I mean,
then
if we're
subsequently got injured.
yeah, and I mean, if we're being completely honest, this is the best possible like sequence of events that could have happened to JT after everything that happened with Polo and stuff. The best possible sequence of events because it's just taking all the attention away from him. It's taking it. Well, it did. It no longer has because he won the Players.
Mhm.
But for the past few weeks, none of the attention was on him. It was all on Bryson. It was all on everybody else, and I think that definitely helped him out a lot because it gave him time to focus on his family with the recent loss of his grandfather and everything else that was going on. Great to see him get another win. It's not going to be his first. It's not going to be his last. I mean, it's not going to be his last of the season. He's definitely going to win again this season. I'm going to say at least two more times. I don't know where, I don't know when, but at least two more times. I do see him winning again this year because he's in his prime right now. He can focus on golf as much as he needs to. And he just has all the talent in the world. So I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of the season.
Is Justin Thomas married? Because when it comes down to it, he is in his prime, but also so is Rory. But when Rory ended up having a family, his golf game took a bit of a hit. So I don't know if that's something that's on JT's radar. Is he married? I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He might have a girlfriend, but I don't think they're married. Um,
Yeah, so I mean, you're
I don't
right.
know.
Right now, he's in his absolute prime as far as golf is concerned, and he has basically almost nothing to worry about except his golf game at this point. So you're right. I think having the distractions that happened, what seemed like almost back to back, it was nice to have the highlight not be on him and be on other people, just so that he could take that time to heal and be with his family and get over everything that's been happening and then come back and be like, oh yeah, but I'm still Justin Thomas and I'm
But
going to
yeah, but I'm
dominate this
also
golf
still
course.
one of the greatest golfers
I got to talk about that shot on
forever.
18 though, because
His tee shot?
yeah, because I mean, if I'm JT, my butthole just puckered and
I mean, if you
and
saw his face, I think it might have.
I almost pooped my pants.
his
Um,
his face, if his face, it might have because he was scared.
I
It
would
was
be
funny to
too,
watch.
man. That was close. That
Yeah.
was too close for comfort. Um, when it comes to that specific shot, it had me thinking about the entire tournament, and I was like, man, like the TPC Sawgrass is a hard course. So I want to
Oh yeah.
ask you, and you can think about this, and we can bring it up in the two-man scramble. What would you think? I personally, I think Sawgrass is one of the hardest courses on tour. What do you personally think is the hardest course on tour? I'll let you hold on to that.
Okay.
And we can talk about it in the 2-man scramble. But I just wanted you to at least have a precursor so you could put at least a relative thought into there.
I appreciate that. I never give that to you, so I appreciate that.
I
usually just throw it at you.
Mostly because I just thought of that question. And it takes a relative amount of thought to think of something.
We stay on our toes.
We do.
This podcast. We don't plan everything out.
We
try to, but
we
we're
don't
really
lie. We don't lie to the From the Tips listeners. We're gonna stamp that here and now. Most of the time, ladies and gentlemen, about half the episode, we are flying by the seat of our pants, and I think that's what you guys enjoy. So we're gonna keep doing.
We are gonna keep doing that.
Absolutely.
Speaking of flying by the seat of their pants,
right on.
What'd you think about Bryson topping the ball on? I forget what hole that was.
Oh God.
Do you think he wins? Do you think he at least comes close to winning if he doesn't top that ball? And I think it was a bogey on that hole. I think he managed to say bogey.
I thought he doubled on that hole.
Did he double it?
I think he doubled.
Do you think he does any better, or do you think he kind of just stays where he's at?
Personally,
I'm a huge momentum guy, so this is definitely not the first time I brought up this kind of question, but like, what's your thoughts?
Personally, I think he takes it to a playoff with JT. And then from then on, I don't know which one of them wins because they were both playing lights out up until Bryson's top. What's funny, it did give me a giggle because I kind of like, as messed up as it may seem, I kind of enjoy when professionals have the same problems that we do.
Oh yeah.
So especially watching
when it's a guy like Bryson.
Yeah, right. Like maybe one of the most polarizing figures in the PGA history, maybe other than John Daly. But like when he does something that I have done countless times in my life, it made me like a little happy on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's different between me and Bryce in that situation is he was able to save double. I would have at least quadded, if not worse.
He had like 150 ball speed.
Yeah, right. Like, what is that?
Even with topping the ball, he's still got like, I don't know what that man is on, but I need some of it. Especially with how I was playing this weekend, I need something. We'll get into that during.
Yeah, well, that was rough for both of us.
Also a rough weekend for me, as was your few picks for the win this week. Which we're just gonna gloss over. We don't need to talk about it in too much detail.
We don't gotta go into depth about that.
Brian's 3 picks for wins this week were Rory. They were Rory, Ricky, and Tommy Fleetwood, and not a single one of them made the cut. That's all we're going to talk about on Brian's winner picks for the week.
I'm on a struggle here, folks. I'm on a betting struggle. Basically, I'm either going to take a hiatus or ride this out until it gets better.
I actually have a pretty good one for you this week because you got a lot of options. Real quick, before a little precursor to the little thing I got for you this week, I do want to run through the top 10 because we usually do that, and we haven't done that yet.
Top 10 of the Honda Classic coming up next week, by the way. Folks.
No, top 10 of finishers this week.
Oh, never mind. Ignore me completely.
We never said that. So obviously number 1 winner, Justin Thomas at 14 under. Lee Westwood solo second at 13 under with a birdie on the 18th. Kind of feel like at that point I would just rather not have the birdie on the 18th because then you're like, man, if I had just done better on one hole, then I might have taken this to a playoff. We got Brian Harmon and Bryson tied for 3rd at 12 under. We have Taylor Gooch and Paul Casey tied for 5th at 11 under. Corey Connors solo 7th. My boy Shane Lowry. Okay. For those that don't know, I'm a big Shane Lowry fan for the sole reason that he's a Strixon guy. Okay.
Also, he's Irish, so like, hey.
He is. So
happy St. Patty's Day, Shane.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day, Strixon. Strixon is one of my favorite golf brands. Fun fact for you. So always loving to see Shane Lowry do good, 9 under. And then this is where it's going to help you because we had I think it's 8 guys again tied for 9th. We got Charles Howell III. We got Daniel Berger, Jason Kokrak, Victor Perez, Siwoo Kim. I don't know why I said. We have Sergio Garcia, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and John Rahm all tied for 9th. So a lot of people divvying up some winning money there. Obviously, Justin Thomas made out the best with his $2.7 million.
That is true.
That's quite the payday.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's chump change. That's just chump change. Yeah.
For him, yes. For him,
Please.
it is.
Yeah, seriously,
For
honestly.
me, yes, please.
that
Give me
would
that.
that would change my entire life completely. No cap.
Yeah, no, I would just quit my other job and do this full time.
I would have so many less problems with $2.7 million.
We would take off soaring with this podcast if we both won $2.7 million and
Yeah, we'd be
our day jobs.
out of this world.
You guys would have so much content you won't even know what to do with it.
You would. I mean, you wouldn't even have enough time in the day to view it. You would have to chalk out, take off a week of work.
26 hours a day of content.
Yep. Yes. 26 hours, 8 days a week. How you doing?
Yep. That's us.
So basically, give us $2.7 million if you want content.
It's the only way.
It's the only way.
Otherwise, I can't afford it.
Otherwise, we cannot help you. This is about all you're getting.
Players is a big one. Congrats again to JT. I don't think we need to talk too much more on it. There's a few hole-in-ones, which we will be talking about later because one of my answers to ESPN. One of my answers to our questions in the two-man scramble segment does involve one of the hole-in-ones. So that will be coming back up again. But for now, let's get into the Honda Classic real quick.
Right on. The Honda Classic is coming up next. It will be at the PGA National Resort and Spa, the Champion Course, for a $7 million purse. So let's get into it.
Oh, I love it.
That's a lot of money. Oh my god.
That is a lot of money. $7 million. Imagine if people just won $7 million like regularly on the tour. I mean, I know that JT won like 2.7 right now, but like the only time you really win like ridiculous amounts of money is when you win the FedEx Cup.
Basically, yeah.
I mean, like imagine if that was just like every week they just did that.
That would be so much money. I don't know how a single sport could make that much money, let alone golf.
Yeah.
Enough to pay somebody that on a weekly basis. That just seems like a very big payroll. Because then you have to pay the rest of the field. So like the purse is going to be much larger in total, you know? And now you got like 20th place winning $2.7 million instead of first, which
that'd be great. Could you imagine?
Oh my gosh. I mean, guys like Kevin Kisner would be just rolling in it.
He would just be so happy.
Oh my gosh, she'd be having a blast.
20th place makes a lot of money.
20th place makes a lot of money. I love that quote so much.
That's a great quote. So getting into it, not a lot of people playing this week. A lot of guys are taking the week off from the players. A few guys are not. Power rankings for this week, we have Daniel Berger at number 1. I do like him. I think he has a good chance to win this week. Number 2 in the power rankings, and most likely number 2 on the leaderboard this week, is Lee Westwood once again.
More than likely, yeah.
It literally says next to it on his power ranking, it says, after consecutive weeks of stress, it wouldn't make sense for him to feel comfortable at PGA National.
Jeez.
But he's 7 for 7 with 4 top 10s. So
my goodness, PGA.
2, Sungjae Im, number 3. This is how you really know that not too many people are playing this week. Number 4 on the power rankings is Russell Henley. Don't really know too much about him because he's not a huge name.
Not a whole lot, no.
Field is number 5. We do have Shane Lowry, Adam Scott, and Neiman.
Joaquin
Neiman. We'll never get that right.
Apologies
to Joaquin. So there's a few guys, but like it's a pretty weak leaderboard if we're being honest.
It's a small field.
A weak field this week if we're being honest. But still gonna watch because it's golf.
Always got to watch the golf. I mean, that's just because why not? If golf's on TV, I got to watch it. And also, this is a chance for someone that nobody knows about to win. And I always love that kind of stuff. So,
for sure. Someone maybe get their first win on tour, something like that.
I love that kind of stuff. So
we'll see what happens there. Not too much really specifically to talk about. The one thing I did want to point out, actually, just like an hour and a half before we started the podcast, I got an update. There will be 3 players out this week. Due to positive COVID-19 tests, which I believe it said was the most amount testing positive at once since June. So props to the PGA Tour on how they've been able to control the COVID-19 situation. We haven't really had any issues besides I don't even remember when the last one was, to be honest with you.
The last major issue I remember is Sergio not being able to play at the Masters. That's the last like major issue with COVID that I can remember.
Yeah,
and that was in
really
November.
Too many issues.
Yeah.
So good for them. But this week, Gary Woodland, Scott Piercy, and Doc Redmond will not be playing. They all played this past week, but Scott Piercy was the only one to make the cut. So I don't know, maybe they just had a few sad drinks after not making the cut and just got COVID. I don't really know what happened, but they will not be playing this week due to COVID-19. Everybody else will be playing that will be there, aka none of the big names besides Daniel Berger and Lee Westwood. Just wanted to touch on that real quick. As we said, not too much to really go on here. There's not any really big names, no big headlines going into this week at the moment. We do the show kind of early in the week, so
things can change.
We don't really get all the headlines. Sometimes things come out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right before the tournament, and we unfortunately can't talk about that. But what we have right now, we will talk about. So, going into this week, we are going to have a very interesting game for you, Brian.
Oh, that's exciting.
And here is the deal. In 1 second, when I actually get prepared before I start talking, if you have anything to fill the space.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of hoping I was just going to make you fumble on your words by turning my head sideways again.
I was too busy not paying attention. So,
well, that's pretty normal.
We're just so here's what we're gonna do.
All righty.
We had 2 guys that placed in the top 10 this past week that are in the top 2 for the power rankings this week.
Right on.
Daniel Berger and Lee Westwood are both number 1 and 2 in the power rankings for this week. So my question to you and your challenge for the week for your bet is, which of these golfers goes lower, and what place do you predict them to end up at?
Between Daniel Berger and Lee Westwood?
Yes.
All right, well, that makes things at least a little bit easier.
Got 50-50 on the first part, and then we're gonna make it a little hard on you and see if you can guess what place they end up in.
I don't think that Lee can do this 3 weeks in a row.
Okay.
And I do expect Daniel Berger to play well because that's just pretty much what he's been doing all year long. So I think that Daniel Berger's score is lower. I think that Lee Westwood finishes T28.
You can give me a range if you want. You don't have to give me.
No. I'm going accuracy here.
T28?
I think he goes T28.
Okay.
And I think that Daniel Berger goes T9 because that seems to be culminating at least like 10 different golfers at this point. So I think that's a pretty valid guess.
So you think Berger goes back-to-back T9?
I think he goes back-to-back T9s. And then I also, for like the futures pick that might be interesting is let's keep track of exactly how many people go T9 as the season goes on and see if that's like the biggest number that, has culminated. I don't know if that's a stat that's even tracked, but it should
track that. You can track that.
That sounds exhausting. I'm not going to do that. That just sounds
I will let you
really tiring.
So the only thing we really have besides those to talk about before we get to the fun stuff, we got a long fun segment today, which
which is really exciting.
Yeah. Gonna be really excited about it. No LPGA this week. LPGA will not be back until next weekend. So the 25th, I believe, is that Thursday. They will be having the Kia Classic in Carlsbad, California. That will be their first week back after a 3-week hiatus.
Right on.
Excited to see how that goes. I'm sure everyone will be in the field. I haven't looked. I don't even know if they have the field available yet. But I'm sure everyone will be back after 3 weeks off. I don't see why anyone would decide not to play.
I feel like after a break like that, you'd probably get everybody back. Probably both quarter sisters. Everybody. Yeah.
So I'll be looking forward to that for next week. But for this week, still no LPGA. And that is all I got on that. Do you have anything else?
No. You want to get into the 2-man scramble, my guy?
2-man scramble, love it.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have a short episode today, I think.
I think this is the
I think I
first.
might have just jinxed it. I think I might have just
Definitely just jinxed it because we're already about a half hour into this. So
Are we? Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That was a lot of rambling for people to listen to.
Yeah. Well, we're into the fun stuff now. So
we are into the fun stuff. Skip ahead. 30
Let's
minutes.
get into it. Skip ahead into this part. So do you want to start with this? Because this wasn't really fun. You have it written down here, and that's what's number one.
Oh yeah, the weekend round.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I wrote I wrote out my talking points on like Tuesday.
Oh well, that'll do it.
Confidence was really high on what was going to be happening this weekend.
Oh man,
it did not pan out even in the slightest. Yeah, we can still start with it because then we can just go on to more high spirited stuff after that. So Brian and I, we went out for 2 rounds this weekend. Saturday we went out with Phil, my girlfriend Gina, and his girlfriend Ellie. Which from now on we're just gonna say Gina and Ellie because you guys probably know who they are.
You should probably know by now who they are.
We posted a lot of videos about that on our Instagram story.
You guys got to see my sick shot on a par 3. You're all welcome for that.
If you didn't watch that, I'm sorry. I think it's gone forever. Keep an eye out next time to watch.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's gone forever. I feel like
I don't know how that works.
I think it's tracked still.
Is it? Okay. Well, maybe we can find it. We do have some footage that we took while we were there, so we will be sending that out soon, hopefully. I can't make any promises on when though because I do not do the editing. One thing was confirmed on Saturday. I cannot play in front of a camera, which definitely needs to get fixed if we're going to start releasing some content.
See, I thought the chipping hour would have helped with that, but it seems like all it's helping with is your short game.
Not even that, as we saw on Sunday.
Wow.
So keep an eye out for that video on Saturday that we took. Really bad stuff, but it was a fun day. It was a good time. We did play as a 5-some, which a lot of people probably are going to get mad at us for, but you can get over it.
Probably a little bit, yeah. But, you know, it is
what it is. We paid for 2 tee times. We're going to use 2 tee times anyway, so whatever. Sunday is the big day. We had a lot of positivity going into this day. It was
energy was high.
It was our first big round out. The 3 of us, it was me, Phil, and Brian. And we got paired with a 4th. His name was Craig.
Good dude, Craig. Good dude.
Yeah, shout out Craig if you're listening. I know Brian told you about us doing this, so shout out. Craig.
It took me about 3 holes to bring it up. So
it did. It took longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, that is a win.
So let me get your initial thoughts. What were your initial thoughts on the round? How you played? How we don't need to talk about how I played, how Phil played, just the round in general.
So the round in general, it was windy and cold.
Very windy.
So if you knew how to hit a shot shape, which none of us do, so it doesn't much matter. But even if you just hit a very crispy shot, you didn't know exactly where it was going to end up. The wind was pretty much taking everything, especially out of the tee box. It was just kind of going all over the place. So when it comes to that, it was a bit scrambly the entire round. When the sun came out on the back, it was relatively nice. I was sweating for a bit because I was in a Q zip. But when it comes down to my play specifically, I went out on Friday with my girlfriend's family, three guys from her family. I played horrible. I hadn't golfed in probably about a month. It was atrocious. Nothing was going right. There was nothing to be salvaged, nothing. So starting my 3 days of golf weekend with that, it could really only go up from there. And thankfully it did. Think. Well, thankfully it did. So I shot exactly how I pretty much on any given day will shoot. Shot, I believe, in 96, if I'm not mistaken. And that's basically that's almost playing to my handicap, if not a bit more.
That's a good day though. 96. I would have taken a 96 after this weekend.
Anything in the 90s, I'm happy with. Literally from 90 to 99, I am happy. If I avoid triple digits, I had a good day, and I'm counting it as a good day.
That is fair.
But how about you? How did you feel? Because I know it wasn't the greatest round for you. However,
that is an understatement.
However, I feel like there were good points, especially on the back. I think when we got to the back, you kind of turned it around a little bit, but it was just one of those days.
Yeah, so pretty much the worst day of golf I've ever played in my life, and that's including the first round of golf I ever played. Honestly, it's been like 2 or 3 rounds, but I think my issue is I'm getting in my head. So to the listeners right now, if you have any tips at all, stop giving me updates, ESPN. If you have any tips at all about how to get out of my own head, I'll even consider reading a book if you have books. At this point, I just need something. So I went out. Last weekend by myself with my 3 randos that I played with. I shot 113. I went into this weekend with the mentality that Brian went out of Friday with, that it can only get better from there, and I was wrong. I'm just so in my head at this point. I got a few swing tips in the off season and didn't remember that I haven't put them into practice at all. So I tried using them on the course, and it ended horribly for me. Literally every single shot that I hit was a chunk shot up until like hole like 12 or 13, I think. I tried everything. I was trying every single tip that I've gotten. I was trying standing farther away from the ball, everything I could think of, and I still somehow chunked every single shot. So mentally, I was just out of it after the first few holes, and it didn't really get any better. There was a 2-hole stretch where I shot bogeys back to back, and those were my best holes of the day, unfortunately. And then on the next hole, I hit it in the sand, and I ultimately lost everything, every little bit of momentum that I had, because we never practice sand shots. That's just how it works. We don't have any sand in the area because we live in Pennsylvania. Maybe if I lived in Florida, I would be able to practice my sand shots more, because then when I go to the beach, I can just practice hitting golf balls in the sand. I'll probably
that's a good use of beach time right there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably knock a few people out in the process, but they'll get over it.
No, that's fine.
So yeah, and as of right now, I am clinging to the hope that it can only get better from here. I almost broke all of my clubs at some point or another on Saturday, which I probably should have done just to get out some frustration, because I'm getting new clubs tomorrow.
That's what I was gonna say. I think like maybe it would have been cathartic
to just I honestly,
snap a club over your knee.
Like there was a few times where I was like, I don't even think I would have needed my knee. Like that's how frustrated I was with how I was playing this weekend, that I don't even think I would have needed my knee to break the club. I think I could have just broken it with both of my hands.
I mean,
I should have. I don't know why I didn't, because I'm getting new clubs on the 16th, which is today for those of you listening. Hopefully those are going to help me out. They are TaylorMades, so I will be using legit clubs.
It will be helpful
to those people that have been talking crap on my top flights. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of telling you that you're right, because you're not. I'm just a really bad golfer, and that is why I haven't been playing well. It's not because I'm using top flights. I'm going to eat my words when I play TaylorMade next weekend, and just
if you shoot a record round next time I will have to apologize.
I will issue a formal apology. Like I will get like one of those, whatever they're called, where you have like press conferences and stuff, and I will
we'll get you a podium
apology.
We'll get you a podium. That's what it's called. We'll do that.
That's what it's called. I will issue a formal apology to everybody who has given me crap for using top flights if I shoot a career round, my first round using them.
I'll wear a suit.
I will. I will go all out. I will go all out. I will issue a formal apology if that happens.
I'll print out press passes for anybody that wants to be there.
Part of me hopes I do. Part of me hopes I don't. But yeah, like I said, I think it's all mental for me at this point. I know I can do it, and I think that's why I get so frustrated, is because I know I have the ability to do it. It's just that I have been unable to execute it. So if you have any tips at all, send them my way. Comments, direct message us, whatever. I'm ready for anything. Like I said, I'm even willing to try reading at this point, which, if anyone knows me, that's pretty mind-blowing.
We only read in emergencies.
That I'm willing to try to read in order to fix what's going on with my golf game right now.
I think it's fixable though. So I think you're going to be okay, buddy. I still expect a good summer out of you. I think you're going to be good.
Summer. I'm hoping for a real good summer. We'll see what happens.
I believe in nothing but upside for you.
I'm really excited about our schedule that we got coming up. Brian
Correct.
and I are getting on a real tight schedule, so we can produce the best content possible for you guys. We usually hit the gym like 5 or 6 days a week. At least that's what we've been doing in the winter. Get some gains, get some distance off the tee. And it's golf season in Pennsylvania now. Everything's open. Everything's ready to go.
Ooh, yes, it is.
So we are cutting it down to 3 days a week, and we will be going to the range on Tuesday and Thursday. Every day we possibly can. I'm sure things will come up. Like this week on Thursday, we have Marvel trivia, so we will not be doing that because
definitely not. We got places to be, man.
Yeah.
we got places to go.
We're gonna go kill that. We're gonna go get our first win in trivia.
We're gonna go win that and then be back.
Yes. But yeah, soon we will be starting that. I'm really excited about it because I think it's really gonna help me out, putting everything into practice, especially having some new clubs, learning how they work and how I can get better at golf.
I promise you it'll get better. I have nothing but faith.
I appreciate the confidence.
To move on with the 2-man scramble portion, we got 3 items brought up. I'm not quite sure who brought up what. Do you have the names?
I am sure I can figure it out. If you read the question, then I will tell you who said it.
Absolutely can do. So the first one, and like we said, we don't even have to answer golf-related questions in
this one was Gina.
Okay. So this one was Gina. And like we said, we don't even need golf-related questions for the 2-man scramble. It's called the 2-man scramble for a reason. It's a scramble. You do not know what's going to happen. So the question is, what is your favorite flavor of Oreo? Now, this is interesting because obviously Oreo does now have expansive flavors, but I feel like in my heart of hearts, and this is basically me answering the question. I'm sorry. I didn't think this was going to go this way, but this is how it's going. In my heart of hearts, I feel like nothing can beat or come close to the Mega Stuffed. It's the perfect amount of stuffed icing with 2 delicious cookies on either side of said stuffed icing. And basically, if you don't know what a Mega Stuffed Oreo is, you need to go find out immediately. In fact, I'm going to need you to hop in your car right now. Keep us on, though, because, you can listen to us while you're in your car. And go
Unless
to
you're watching the video podcast,
right.
Jen, do not keep us on.
Do not
Switch
do that.
over to the audio podcast.
Yes, do that. And basically, go get yourself some. And then while you listen to the back half of this episode, enjoy yourself some Mega Stuffed Oreos. It will change your life. You're welcome. Rick, buddy, what are you thinking here?
I actually have a question for you starting off with this one.
Right on.
I have heard a lot recently that Oreos are an overrated cookie. What's your opinion on that before I answer?
Overrated sometimes. I do have to sometimes agree Oreos are maybe a little bit too sought after. They're a good cookie, don't get me wrong. But if I'm staring down a homemade cookie and an Oreo,
oh yeah,
I'm going with a homemade cookie. That's just how it goes.
The opposite of overrated is underrated. And my favorite is extremely underrated because for some reason people like chocolate better than vanilla. My favorite Oreo is the double stuffed golden Oreos. I do not think that anything beats that. I mean, the Mega Stuff is good.
And I'm a chocolate guy, so that's why I'm not big on the vanilla,
And you take your Oreos like you take your bagels. Unrealistic. Unrealistic amount of filling. Do you have that picture? Do you have that picture like on you right now?
You're gonna have to ask Phil. Because he took a video.
Yeah. So before on Sunday, Brian got a bagel from Wawa. And this thing was just loaded with cream cheese. He clicked the extra cream cheese button.
I gotta say,
and
usually
they did not disappoint.
No, usually when you click the extra cream cheese button at Wawa, you get it's a relatively okay amount of cream cheese. It's a lot better than if you just selected cream cheese because they don't provide even close to enough when you supply that. But this girl behind the counter looked me in my optic stems and was like, "This boy needs cream cheese." I don't know if it was because I look frail and unassuming, but I mean, I would have to say, I usually like a good like 1-to-1 ratio on cream cheese to bread.
Uh-huh.
This had to have been a 2-to-1, cream cheese being the 2, bread being the 1 ratio. It was maybe the most amount of cream cheese I have ever seen on a bagel. Yeah, you do.
Ooh,
Yep,
yep.
it's
Still coming in
so
close with
much.
this. Let me see if I can get
It's so
a
much.
better view here if I turn the brightness down. Sometimes that helps.
No,
Oh, that's
you
too much.
did.
Um, I got this. Bear with me. Um,
Look at that.
yeah, kind of tough to see. We're gonna post this
I
on our
think we're
page
just gonna have
though,
to
for
post
sure.
that. I think we're
Yeah,
just
we're
gonna have to
gonna
post
post that
that.
on our page for sure. But yeah, mega stuff not bad. I'll give it to you on that one.
Yeah.
But golden double stuff definitely better. Um,
I'm not big on the golden. I don't like the vanilla
that's what
action
I'm saying.
there.
They're
That's the
super
problem.
underrated. I'm a huge vanilla fan.
You
So
are. You
that
like
is
vanilla a
also
lot,
why
so
vanilla is better than chocolate. Don't at me. Um,
I would have to disagree. But
that's fine. You're entitled
to
to your
each their
opinion.
own. To
You're
each their
entitled
own.
to your own opinion. It might
That's what
be
I'm
wrong,
saying.
but you're entitled to it.
To each their own.
This, the next question that we have, I believe this comes from John. We have, what is your favorite side game to play during your round? Um, I'll field this to you first if you
Right.
have one. I know
Right
you
on.
play more games than I do because usually I just go out with you and Phil, and we don't usually play too many games.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know you play more. So what's your favorite?
For me, I think my favorite game, I think it's gonna have to be match play. Um, just because I feel like in match play, it's not me against the course, it's me against whoever I'm playing against.
Uh-huh.
And I think given my game and how pretty, and I'm a 20 handicap.
Uh-huh.
So when it comes down to it, I'm probably not going to beat anybody in strokes. That's just probably not going to happen. But match play puts us kind of on the same level without having to use like the handicap and do all that kind of math.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I like match play because I feel like down the stretch, especially if you're in a close one, like if you're like someone's 2 up or 1 up, you're in a close one down the stretch, it can get real exciting. And
Oh
also, I
yeah,
don't
for
even
sure.
have to worry about my stroke score. All I have to do is make sure I have less than you.
Yeah.
And that can go all sorts of ways depending on how the other person's playing that day. So I
Yeah.
like match play. I think that's my favorite.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember. I think is it Stableford
Stableford. Yes.
where you get like points for like birdie, par, or bogey.
Correct. Yes.
Yes, love Stableford, especially when I'm playing well. Stableford is my game. For the sole reason that I have the most sporadic golf game probably ever. So for example, when I was at Gina's brother's bachelor party, we did Stableford when we went to golf there, and I think I got like the third most amount of points over the course of the day, and pretty much everybody there was better than me. Um, but it's because I get like I'll go like a few stretches where I'll get like 2 or 3 pars. I'll maybe throw a birdie in there, and I'll get a bunch of points, and then I'll throw like a +5 in there or something like that, like a complete blow up that I get no points, but like I did pretty well the holes before that, so I get a few points. That one's really fun for me, just because it's like you don't need to play every hole perfectly to win that little side game that you're playing.
Agreed. Yeah. I like
Um,
Stableford too. I like to play match play and Stableford at the same time.
yeah, no,
Um,
that's good.
I
I'm
think
with
that's the beauty of golf games is that you can play multiple
they can
at the
be
same
combined.
time.
The other side game that I like to play with myself in my head is, can we keep it in the fairway on this hole?
That's a great game.
That's a good one. I usually lose that one.
Yeah, I'm usually on the losing end of that
I'm
game.
lucky if I hit 4 fairways over the course of a round. So I usually lose that one. But it's a fun game to play.
It is. It does. It definitely keeps it interesting. Any golf game, really. I'm pretty much open to every golf game, unless it's one of those golf games that involves like real like precise skill.
Yeah.
Then I'm totally out. No.
Yeah.
So leave me alone with that.
Yeah.
But pretty much every golf game, I'm good to go. I'm ready to play.
Yeah.
I think they're all fun. And I think that most golf games were created by guys who are like us, who don't like, their stroke score all that much. So they wanted to create something that was maybe a little bit more exciting for all the guys to get together who were probably all different handicaps and different skill levels to be able to do something that maybe the mid handicapper or even the high handicapper would be able to win over his low handicap buddies. So I think that's why golf games are really cool.
Yeah.
That was my little spiel on golf games. Into our final question, fielded to us by Tom Reed. By the way, both John and Tom, both writers for Hack Across America. They are a blog, a golf blog. Definitely go suggest looking them up on Instagram and then going to their blog website. Great writing from those guys there. He asked the question, what if you don't have any, which, basically we don't, what shot shape do you wish you had in your bag? Rick, I'm going to field this to you first. I kind of want to see where you're going with this one.
So we're not talking just like being able to hit the ball straight, like an actual.
No. I think he meant
a
specific.
Because that would be it if I could do that. Being able to hit the ball straight, that's the one shot I wish I had.
That'd be great.
We're talking like really cool shot that I wish I could hit. I really like watching videos of guys when they're like in the trees and they hit like a really aggressive cut, like around the trees.
Full Bubba Watson.
Yeah, like it's just like the most aggressive curve line, and like it just somehow ends up on the green. Like I don't know how you aim that. I really don't. No. And I also don't know how you hit that. And I wish I could do that because I end up in the trees a lot, first of all. And number two, you just look cool.
No, for
when
sure.
You're like, if you're in the trees or something and you're like facing the completely wrong way and people are probably looking at you like you're crazy. They're like, why are you hitting it that way? The green's the other way. And you're just like, hold on 1 second, watch this. And you just like stripe one onto the green from a ridiculous angle. I think that would be so cool to be able to do. And I would love to be able to do that. I do it by accident sometimes.
But it's into the trees instead of out of the trees.
I don't have any control over it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so like that is cool. That's super badass when you see it happen.
Yeah,
I can totally agree with that. Especially when you finish like with your hands up here, going full tiger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's incredibly badass. Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. If this was considered a shot shape, which it's not, hitting the ball straight would be my preferred. But taking into account that there are people out there who, when you say shot shape, hitting the ball straight isn't considered one of those shapes.
It's considered a normal skill that you should have,
which we do not.
Moving on.
For me, it's the hop and stop chip shot.
Oh, okay.
I have a real problem with when I chip onto the green, it just runs right back off because I have absolutely zero. And if a negative was an option, that I have that too, backspin on my shots onto the green. Spin. I probably have plenty of topspin on these shots, which is borderline impossible considering how a golf club is shaped.
Yeah, you shouldn't have topspin.
No, but I somehow seem to pull it off because just goes speeding right on off the green again. And then as I try to overcompensate with the next one back onto the green, I chip it 2 feet in front of me and it becomes a real issue. So if I could just have the one hop and stop, it doesn't even have to stop completely. You can just one hop and then do a little like brake check. And just like roll nicely and just stay on the green anywhere. And it just doesn't even have to be near the hole. I'll figure it out after that with the putter. Just stay on there. Just so I can take the wedge completely out of my hand. Please and thank you. So I have a real problem with getting onto the green and then staying on there. So the hop and stop would be so nice to have in the bag. I also don't have a 60-degree wedge though, so I can't say that I could never have that in my bag because I don't know.
Yeah, they're tough. They're tough,
but
to
they
hit.
are 60 degrees are super tough to hit. So I mean, I guess I just will never have that shot unless I get a 60-degree, and then I'm gonna have to figure out how to use a 60-degree, and that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, they're not easy.
So don't expect the hop and stop to be coming into my bag anytime soon. But if my dream could come true, that would be it. That would be the shot shape I'd want.
That's a good shot to look for.
I think it's a preferred shot shape. I would like that. Yeah. Unless you have anything else, that would conclude our celebratory double-digit episode 10.
I do have one thing to finish out the episode. I'm gonna send it to you right now on Instagram, and you're gonna give me your initial reaction.
Oh boy, I like how these things work out. Okay, alrighty. Yeah. He's so burnt.
I know. I love it.
This that burnt. Working. I don't think people are going to see it.
How does this work? I don't understand. There we go. That's the one. For those watching this on video,
Harry Higgs is so burnt.
Harry Higgs is my guy. Okay.
I think you just like him so much because he's your spirit animal.
He is. He's my spirit animal.
Yeah.
And this just sinks it in. He did pretty well this week at the play.
He did.
He did really well the first few days, and then he kind of fell off.
He made an early run at it, and I was like, "Oh, Rick is going to be so excited
this year." If Harry Higgs wins this year, I'm going to probably run shirtless around the golf course at some point.
Oh, geez, there goes your hat.
In honor of this man.
In honor
go
of the
over
man,
to our
myth,
story if you're not watching this video, as Brian is now being pressured to put together because we've said it 9,000 times.
It's not going to be all that hard, I promise you.
I will put it on our story as well, so you guys can see this fantastic golf meme. But yeah, Honda Classic. No, not Honda Classic.
No, yeah, Honda Classic.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. You got this. I believe in you.
I apologize to everybody. Honda Classic coming up this week. Watch it. Love it. Make other people watch it. Grow the game of golf. That's what we're here for. That's why we come here. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Drink a green beer for us. Go ahead and send it to us if you want. If you drink a green beer, go ahead and send us a picture.
Absolutely send that to us.
We will appreciate that. We appreciate all interaction with you guys. Send us more things for the two-man scramble. We will answer all of them. As we said, doesn't have to be golf related. Today we talked about our favorite flavor of Oreo, which is undisputed golden stuff. Double.
It's definitely disputed, but moving on, right?
But yeah, episode 10. Thanks again for listening. We will be back next week with episode 11 to talk a little bit about the Honda Classic.
Right on, guys. See you then.
See you later.